In the words of the ladies, hello and welcome to Bump Love. We are here at the Golden Tulip. It's another edition of Bump Love, but today is different because the men are taking over the show. I think we open in classic thing.
Bump is a bump.
Bump.
So
Yeah.
that's why we become.
Salvador is already. So how many months?
We have been here 24 years.
Are you considering
I can't. Yeah, this one is from God.
But every time I go to East,
Yeah. This week, the men are taking over the show. And joining me today is Benjamin Baseta Mwine on my right. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, please.
I see the beards there.
Yes, the color is changing a little.
What's wrong? Are
And
you okay?
it's about that time.
Did you access NSSF?
Not yet, almost.
there's a Vita bump beard.
General Manager for Production at Next Media Services. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, please. Thank you.
Yes. And on my extreme left is Mathew Nabwiso, renowned filmmaker, actor, and now producer of Sanyu, which airs on Pearl Magic Prime, Channel 148 on DSTV and Channel 305 on GoTV. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And next to me on my left is, I call him Salvador. Yeah. But,
That's my middle name.
but what are your real names?
Patrick Idringi.
So where did Vieira come from?
Patrick Idringi Vieira.
Sure.
So you know
Yeah.
which is the middle name.
People in Obokolo name such fancy names.
Yeah,
Obama
because
was the
I am French best. My mom is Congolese.
Yeah.
For a fact,
Je ne
she's
sais quoi.
Congolese. Je m'appelle,
Yeah,
je
tout le
m'appelle.
monde.
My mom is Congolese based in Goma,
Okay.
in Congo. How they met with my dad, that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the name was Dieudonné.
Dieudonné.
Yes, that was the name that was given to me. It's a Congolese name. But when I went to school, O level, that's when I fell in love with Arsenal. And there was Vieira, and I was like,
was a hard
Dieudonné Vieira, there is a similarity. So I gave my name the Vieira name.
Oh.
In 1998.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, that was when the time Arsenal used to win a lot.
Was he doing very well?
The elephant was
And France,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
the elephant was spending a lot of time on
A
the
lot
tree.
of
Na
time on
Ekat.
the tree. It is still there.
Abana bakuba. Welcome to the show,
Thank you,
gentlemen.
thank you.
And I want to first of all start with your understanding of Women's Day. For you, what is the meaning of Women's Day for you? Because some people will say, okay, on this day, men should cook. Give the women a break on this day. Ben, Ben, your eyes communicate something different.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we've taken the feminism thing a bit too far, made it a bit extreme to the point where it starts losing meaning. And I think very soon we're going to start having an actual official Men's Day because the men are now completely disenfranchised. So I do appreciate that we need to celebrate issues surrounding women, and that's very important. But I think that if it ends up being taken to one extreme, it creates a problem on its own. So,
Right.
yeah.
And that position is the reason why many women are complaining about us. They have had to be extreme. Because we are not doing what is needed.
The question is, what are we supposed to do? Because things change every day. The Bible states it clearly. The man has to be the provider. It is written in the book. You have gone to do your job, or it could be 8 to 5, you have gone back home, they are shouting at you. What is a man supposed to do? Because now the roles are changing.
Yes.
Now the women are putting on the pants. Yeah? Do we still have to celebrate Women's Day? Do we still have to reaffirm that the women have to be taken care of? Because we are in a situation whereby the women are now putting on the pants.
Yeah.
They are the ones putting food on the table.
Yeah.
What does that say? Are we interchanging roles? So, but for me, Women's Day is just a reaffirmation of what I'm supposed to do. A reminder of what I'm supposed to do as a man. For my woman, for my family.
Yeah.
That is it. It's not about gender balance. Money, what? I should put you on a pedestal. No, it's just a reminder that, hey, Salvador, this is what you're supposed to do
As a man.
As a man. Period.
Yeah. Fantastic. Mathew.
I think it is a good thing to celebrate women for the various contributions they make, say in homes, in families and all that. But I think just to agree a little more with Ben, I think if it's overtaken to an extreme, I feel like it actually takes away from the woman. It actually takes away. Because yes, we know who they are and they are what they are. But when you over push it, it seems like you're trying to, to create what is not there. Yeah, so I think it is really important to strike a little bit of a balance, not to overdo it, because then...
So, if you're celebrating Women's Day this week, please remember some of these things. But we asked you to ask the men questions. No holds barred. Be as precise and be as honest as possible. And today, I hope you men you can answer, because these are very, very serious questions. The first question is from a one Rebecca. Rebecca asks, what comes to your mind? Yeah? Me, I'm just the host. What comes to your mind when you completely abandon the children, yet you are also part of giving birth?
There is no smoke without fire. You understand? For a man to reach that extent of saying Nchitade, there are so many things that come about.
Yeah.
What if Onotatwa the preamble? What if they are not my kids? Or the context? What if they are not my kids? I find out that they are not my kids.
But you are aware that there are men who completely abandon their families.
This is true.
Which is true.
And I think we must unequivocally agree that for a man to abandon his children is completely unacceptable.
Yes.
That said, context is very important. Is it possible that maybe the woman is using the kids to try and hold the man at ransom, which is possible? We're just saying. Yeah. Is it possible? You've heard the story of the guy whose wife gave birth to quadruplets. And the guy said, and they haven't seen him for I don't know how many years. No, it's just that it becomes overwhelming, and the guy is just trying to process, how am I going to look after all these children? Yeah. And guy, he just doesn't see how he can handle. That could be a reason. So you have the context now of the man's mental state of being. Like he was saying about how we're supposed to provide. And the guy is just doing the math and he's like, I can't handle.
The math is not math.
Yeah, math is not mathing. So I think there's a lot of context that has to be put into consideration. But but abandoning a child, really,
it's wrong. It's for somebody to just wake up and say Nchitade, no reason given, no word. That is not a man. Totally, that's not a man. He cannot be respected as a man whatsoever, because you knew what you were doing when you were bringing this child into the world. So for you to just wake up one day and leave, no reasons, no whatever reasons you have behind your back, if you just wake up and say Chivudem, you can't call yourself a man.
Right. Yeah. What do you say to because you hear women who will say, you had 9 months to prepare that these children were going to come. Even if you have quadruplets, right? You still have 9 months. If you do your job as a man and you go to antenatal with the woman, you would know that they are going to be what? 4, and you make the preparation. What do you say? How do we respond to that?
I think one, it also, there are other factors involved. Yes, I could have 9 months to prepare, but does my income today actually, is it enough to actually take care of quadruplets? Yeah, and now in the event that maybe it's not, then how about you as a woman? Because today we are talking about emancipation, balancing. What is your contribution? Do we want to do this gender balance thing only when it's the man to cash, or do you get involved? Yeah, I think if these are things that you actually talk about in those 9 months, I think you won't put a man in a situation of running away. But then again, it might also, like he said, there are other factors that might be concerned. Did you trap this man? Does he really believe they're his children? You know, there's that other side of the coin that actually never gets to be discussed. We only look at one side. He abandoned the kids. He's a bad man.
And also,
you know?
just to add on to what Mathew is saying, there are so many other factors. Yes, I've had 9 months to prepare. In my mind, I've had 9 months to prepare for a child. I have not added in the extra possibilities of costs that come along. For example, I'll give you, my wife gets pregnancy complications from the 3rd month. I've not prepared for it. It's not part of the budget, but it consumes most of my budget for my preparation of the 9 months. Because she's sick from between the 3rd month to the 8th month. Those are 5 months of me spending money that I've not budgeted for. So, that's a lot of money. That's like, yet you know, which took 9 months, normal delivery 300k, cesarean 1.5. You put it in the bank, but you've been spending 150k per day for 5 months. Money you've not budgeted for. Where are you going to get the 1.5 at the end of the month, at the end of the 3rd trimester? It also, all those factors add on to a man's mental breakdown. For him to just wake up one day and go. And by the way, when they leave, it's not about even the time they take to recover. Because the period, the man can take 5 years, and for him in his head, he has only left for a week. Now come out after 5 years, and he does not understand what's going on. Because what he's processing mentally is way beyond even time.
So how do our partners help us with this so that, okay, we are not running out? Yes, we need to be more responsible as men and take care of our children regardless of the circumstance. Maybe Kubida Mulondo, Kubida Beni, call all these people to help. Of course, we might tell you, please, we are not there when you are penetrating, but we seem to be giving up quickly. Is that, and I feel like that's what the women are complaining about. We seem to give up so quickly because for them they stay and still take care of children. Like, I honestly do not know any woman who abandoned their children.
I think
I haven't met one.
It could also go along with the kind of communication the man is having with the woman. Because yes, I'm having financial challenges, and you're going to walk to me and say, and you call yourself a man, you can't do this. That man is going to run.
Your family adding salt into the wound.
Yes. Yeah. So
one of the biggest things you can get in support as a man is not financial. It is the emotional support. There are some things which can really downgrade a man, especially when it comes to esteem. You know, that's the only thing we ride on. Esteem for a man is very, very important. And there are 2 factors that can kill it easily. One is financial. And 2 is sexual. If you ever want to kill a man's self-esteem, talk about his performance in public. Olakovu. Performance Olakovu. In public. Unwisely. I attended the conference. Talk to your husbands. Tell them. Give them a scale between 1 to 10. Men, you ask your women between 1 and 10. How do you think I performed? And I said that is the worst question you can ever ask.
that would be it.
There is no amount of apology or reasoning you will ever give back that will cover the 8. Nothing. Today you were off form. Nothing like off form or on form. That rating alone can just kill a man. Hey, but you guys, so when I've gone through,
on a scale of
even if it is 8,
even if it's the 2 is for who?
But you guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, are there moments where you have been at 2?
What about on a 0, Baba? Maybe 2. Now wait till you know. You start apologizing in advance. It's yours.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Like, now I'm tired.
It's just been a long day.
Work stress.
Day to day, chiga.
Now that thing alone, you know, a man loves support. Me, I've come from work. I'm going to see my pregnant wife who has been going through. I find her family. They are taking care of her. Bamufumbi deka juice. Nange bantegeke deka juice. Nebangamba Salvador. Mama nantwala bwe nangamba webale mutabani webale ogezezzaako mwana nga badde bubi naye buli wakulaba atekako smile. Those things
tomorrow
can make
you go back to win for the
tomorrow you will go back and say, come rain, come sunshine. They are proud of me. I cannot let them down.
Yeah.
Then when you reach and
Mr. Promises is back.
And they say, anyway, Daphne, we shall see you. And they walk out. In your mind, it's like, what have they been talking about?
You get
Yes.
This woman is supposed to be my partner, somebody who's backing me up. But if it has reached this extent, of even her replying,
Is there anything else you can do for a man than to get him to question himself? Because as a man, the moment you begin to doubt your own abilities, that's it.
Yeah,
you're done for. There's no coming back from that.
Yeah. Right.
So this one question has taken us.
Is there a moment that you have felt, Naye, why am I? Do I have to do this as the man? Is there a moment for you where you're like, but really, if I leave this thing, will I die?
I don't think in terms of being a husband or a parent, I don't think I've had that moment. But I think the moments that I have that can be challenging, I think, is the relationship between me and my wife. Yeah. Especially when communication goes wrong. Yeah,
and
you go like, it does go wrong often. And you're thinking, okay, omuntu gwendi na yai na magezi. Like, did I really sign up for this? Yeah, is this worth keeping? Yeah, but it all goes back to if the communication is not done right.
Right.
Yes.
All right, so we are taking your questions. Meanwhile, you can drop them in the chat. Kubanga, hot. We can come back for part 2. But there's another question. Mimi Kaya is asking, do you know postnatal depression? Can you tell that baby mama is under that bus?
You know what? The hard truth is that, on average, men are completely clueless about the things that women are dealing with. And not just about P&D, but generally about feelings and the way women operate and how different we are in the way we were built and all those things. And because sometimes even women don't know that they're dealing with this sort of depression, the things that Mathew was, I feel like calling him Henry, the things that Henry, the things that Henry was talking about, where that communication, the woman is telling you, in fact, I had an ex when I was in high school. I think I would have been better off with him. Meanwhile, it's not her talking, it's the depression. But now because your ego has been completely deflated, you start thinking, what did I get myself into? But the truth of the matter is, and I keep telling Gretchen this all the time, please understand that I am a man, and by default, we are clueless about the things to do with you. So help me understand what you're dealing with.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Do we make an effort?
To do what?
To understand?
You cannot make an effort for something you don't know.
Yes, you can't.
Exactly.
You can't.
My wife went through that depression after our third born, because the things she went through with that boy were just overwhelming for her. So after birth, the care and the love she was showing this boy was not the same as the first two. Kadinya was getting mad. If you don't want, I would get mad and I would not understand what she's going through. You understand? And unfortunately, instead of making an effort to tell me, she would use her frustration to get back at me. So it was a lose situation. Nobody was winning. It took us almost 3 months for somebody to come and tell us. When we were doing the chat shows we used to do, until somebody came on one of the episodes and told us about it. And say, you'll find your woman going through this, the pain, she doesn't like the chat. Then I put the dots together. Can you imagine realizing on your own show? You know, I was speechless. I was just flashbacking.
That was the first time you actually
That was the
realized
first
that
time I
realized
realized.
how clueless we can be, right?
That's how clueless. Imagine after all those months. Imagine she had done something harmful, and that happens.
Yeah.
They can harm the child.
Yes.
Yeah. Imagine she had harmed the
because
child.
You are father.
The pain, the hurt I would have, the hatred, and the resentment I would have towards her will never ever be recovered. Right. Regardless of how many times somebody else tells me about, oh, she was depressed, I would be like, no, she's just a murderer.
She just has
bad manners.
And I also think there is one thing that we men normally miss out, is when our wives actually go to give birth. I think if we men, because I've had this experience for all my children, I'm always there in the theater. Actually, the trauma I went through the first time made me grow a lot of respect for her. So that in the event that she had anything, you call it postnatal depression, I think I could relate because I have been there. And I was actually more horrified than she was. So it helped me relate. And so in the event that anything, any communication goes wrong, anything, I kind of flash back to the other moment and I'm like, maybe this is where it's coming from. And I think it has helped me, I think, be more understanding or go easy on her. I try to be as understanding as possible because I've been there.
She lost her life as she was bringing her life.
Because I had this experience when we had our first child. I got to a point when, because it was a C-section, so as they were cutting through, I could hear them cut, the doctor, as though he was cutting some sack or something. It was so traumatizing to me that I almost passed out.
Oh, wow.
Because it's the first time I understood seeing these things in movies. I thought it was just a movie, but that day I almost passed out. Because I remember I even had my phone to record. I failed to record. And actually, until the baby was out, that's when I gathered the energy to record. But then what I'm trying to drive at is that when we went through this with her, I got to a point whereby I was like, if I was to make a decision between these two, I don't know this baby, but I know my wife. At that point, I just started praying for my wife. I'm like, God, I can't lose my wife. Yeah, because I've known her. This baby is still a stranger to me. So it helped me, you know.
I'm just trying to understand. Have you guys always been in the theater for? Were you there for Black and Bianca?
You were in. I recorded.
Almost passed out.
I
was out.
You
You passed out.
Yeah, I'm not good with blood. Me and blood, we have problems.
You went.
I just went there. I was very confident. They just woke me up. You have a girl.
I have always and I've filmed both deliveries. So the first years when my kids were being fake, I'll tell them, excuse me, this is you. Stay in your lane. but also like for friends who cared to, when they came to visit us, like I would show, like, yeah, this is the baby, and they put, I don't think blood I'm kawa. I'm kawa. So I always, and I must be inside. Then on the outside, my immediate family or her immediate family is outside. Yeah, and then the mother also follows the baby into the nursery, because we've had those stories of people switching babies in the nursery. So there's the security inside and security outside.
I've been blessed not to be there for both my children.
You've been blessed.
I don't want to pass out. I can imagine.
So what happens is the good thing when you have the support of family, both yours and hers.
Yes.
One thing I really thank God for is her mother and my mother are like best friends.
Yes.
That's nice.
So they go through everything.
They agree.
My mother will stay with me in my blacked out state. Her mother will be with her there, and then they keep on interchanging. So that is one of the blessings I have. So for me, I just wait for the news. I sit in the theater and I'm there praying. It's a boy! She went.
I'm a father.
I'm a father.
If you have not been in the theater for your child, talk to us. Or if your husband has not been, if your partner has not been, tell us. And what reasons do you give? Because also you women, you tell the men not to come. You are the one who brought me these problems. Sagala kula. So you're the first problem. So I hope we've answered that question. Postnatal depression. Sometimes we don't know what you're going through.
Most times.
Yes.
Most times we have no clue.
So we can't know that you are, depressed. But I think also it helps if you, for example, you can tell your mother that you are depressed. And mothers usually know how to talk to husbands, by the way. Your mother reaches out to me in a better way
There is
than
way
you, my
I will
wife.
question her.
And that's so your mother can say, Mkwano Salvador. Usually abachala, mothers have an interesting way.
They're good politicians.
They set you up properly.
The way they do it is, you know, a man wants to show that it's not his fault. Again, omwana wange alinamu obuzibuzibu. Naye kati gwe ng'omusajja, you are like, for sure. You are like, kati now I'm listening. Yeah, kubanga nange obuzibuzibu nabula bamu naye. Tell me more. Nga she has marinated me properly. Obviously. Finish him.
So please, our ladies, use your mothers. I think they are a great resource that you don't use because they.
I think the word
We
we're looking
respect
for is
them.
weapon.
Yeah.
They have really a weapon.
They set us
very
up
good weapon.
Properly.
Kwananga waliwo bwenguddemu. And now I'm counting back and like, Mama Manuela set me up for that one. But the way our wives communicate is usually disrespectful, and it makes us look like you are the only ones who love the children.
Yeah.
And that's not. That's usually hard to connect.
You know, I think the problem with that, Brian, just to add something very quickly, is that especially our generation of men, we've been so loving. So I've seen Mathew and Elena, I've seen you and Daph, I've seen you and Manuel, and the way we communicate with our wives is so friendly to the point that it is very easy for the women to exercise a lot of kamanyiro.
Yes. The entitlement is
Without actually knowing that they are being disrespectful.
yeah.
I think it happens a lot. So it's that sometimes you need the
Nothing
amount
pains
of.
me like when I did something, I say, Gwenga, last time you did it. Is it a competition? Is this a Premier League?
No, I think we also actually, you'll have those moments when you've just gotten back home and had a long day, you're tired, you're like, honey, can you get me a glass of water? And she's gonna go like, what's wrong with your hands? And I'm like,
Don't you know where the fridge is? And the funny thing
you're like,
is,
no,
we-
Katishi,
and the
Nichari, wo, am I your son?
Very fast. Yes, and then you go
Even
quickly.
as you get up, you go to
But
the
inside you are dying.
Which brings me to this question. Which brings me to this question, and it was asked by Kemi B. But what satisfies you people? Why do you cheat so much?
I think you can start from where Matthew left off. You've gone back home. The one thing that a man wants more than anything else is
To be
respect. We are like big babies, but our big baby ship is based on our egos. The man by default, and it's the way God made us, we are ego, right? And so you'll find that you've got an amazing wife and all of these things, but you go back home and she's saying, "You want water? Don't you have hands?
The food
Don't
is
you
in
want
the microwave.
the food? Leave me alone."
Yeah.
And then Matthew is on set. There's a young actress who is trying to break through. She's basically begging him, "What can I do for you? Have you eaten? Can I bring you water?" How long do you think he's going to last?
Yeah, because actually they put you in a position where you start making comparisons. Yeah, when I'm at work, somebody's making sure I have a
I'm
drink.
okay.
They are
My
catering
plate
to
is
you. I
like,
think
yeah. When I go back home, it is
stress.
I come back tired, I go back and there's just more fatigue. So you start comparing, and I think that is where the problems begin.
People have
Not
slept with their
knowing
maids.
to play the role. Because if I am playing my role as a man, I'm providing, what is so hard for you to just pamper me for those 30 minutes when I just
when
get
I've
back
just
home?
returned.
Yeah.
People have slept with
makes
their
a
maids.
difference.
You know, you find girls discussing, my man slept with my maid. Like, he left this?
Like, how can he?
How can he leave this and sleep with the maid? We got from Chotera. Chotera.
Not Rakai. Ne Rakai.
Auntie, there are some
Okay, well,
locations.
Jokes aside, you come back home, you're stressed. She comes, Uncle Kurika, yo.
On her knees.
Oh, she's on her knees.
Right.
Bichi, bichi. And this is something you've not been receiving from your wife. She goes, the juice is there on the table. These are subconscious things that grow onto you. To the extent, you'll not feel comfortable when your wife serves you food. If it happens for a very long time, you'll be like, oh, today what happened?
You call
Like,
Mulondo.
Uchumanya serving the mere. If you let that happen for a very long time,
Yeah.
the man will become comfortable with the situation to the extent that that my wife doesn't have. She even has more. Respect. She has taken care of this. Bichi bichi. You are out. Organize a conference. Retreat. This man is here. You just end up, and then you realize later, and then what, and then what. Men do not cheat because they want to. Some men do.
Yeah.
Others do. Chiri musai.
Yeah.
Nga oliye buli chala ba skirt, wala bila skirt. Ako size yange. They are there. Those ones are there. And you can tell. Mtu wakukwa na day one. You can tell that this kind of guy is in this direction. Now you find a good man.
Many good men.
Many good men. And no take away mbera. The guy will eventually
Leave.
will leave. And the worst thing is when they ask a question about her. If you ever make a mistake and let your guard down, you as the man,
You're finished.
and you say, the problem, man, when I come back, she doesn't do this. Or you again, I call her research.
Yes.
And she will do what this one is not doing.
Yeah.
And you will be like, this is kind of woman I should have married.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then, our wives will tell us, Mr. Mulondo, for me when I'm also in the marketplace, out there at work, I find men who do these things. How come me, I fight that, and I don't cheat on you?
But you see, is the thing. The way, and I hear this argument a lot from women, that even us, we have men who are hitting on us.
But we don't.
The way women are made up and operate is very different from us. For women, for example, sex is almost 100% emotional thing.
Emotional.
For Salvador,
Sex is a result
of
Of-
yes. For Salvador, it's a thing of
Chikuteyo.
conversation starter.
venue.
Location.
And I think that when you think about where, and we're not trying to justify cheating or saying that it's okay and all of that, we're just saying that when you go back to look at where it has come from, yeah, it will usually end up in the same place. The man's biggest need is always going to be that respect. The sex. If we're going to be honest, we are all married. We understand how adulting, so many blah blah blah.
Complicated.
3 weeks have gone. You've had sex.
Nara action.
It happens a lot.
How sustainable is that?
Quality and quantity.
How sustainable is that going to be? And if you don't take proactive steps as a woman at that point to say, you know what, I need to address this issue, because the man will keep quiet. He doesn't want to stress you, whatever. But like Salvador said, subconsciously, there are things that are aligning
Keep on
themselves. The dots are adding. Eventually, it might be 2 months, it might be 15 years. If they add up properly, eventually that thing will happen.
Yeah.
Right. And let me tell something to women. If, for example, a man sleeps with a girl once, akaana ne kaveeri ne keekola ebintu. Let me say that in Luganda. I think that's what it makes. Akaana ne keekola ebintu. And you're like, eh.
I was about to react, then I realized I would be confirming.
And we are just.
So let me say,
This is coming out of research.
Research.
This is not
Experience.
Ne keekola ebintu, and when you go back home, and your person is not switching it up, the guy will automatically run away. That's for sex. But I also think that when your person, for example, tells you something they would like you to work on, we think that they are saying you're a fake partner.
Very true.
Yet they are telling you, this is the thing that I am interested in.
Yeah.
Like, you are still a good person. So we take things personal. I think even us men, when they tell us, for example, you are coming back home late, we're like, like mukuru, you can still kukolera me for me at home. Yeah, because there are guys who work on their computers at home. So I think that also drives us to go where Munang, the person says, Munang, he works so hard.
Let me tell you a quick story. A friend of mine, and you guys all know him, so I won't give the name. Yeah.
It's all right.
Stressful day, driving back home, broke at that time, gets a flat tire, battery is flat, fuel is low.
And that's when all the problems come.
At the same time on the same day, okay? And so, in all of that madness, someone is passing by, recognizes, I know Salvador's car, I know Mathew's car, so I'm like, but wait, that's Mathew's car, right? Parks and says, eventually does a bailout, they fix a tire. Guy ends up home 3.5 hours later than he was supposed to. Finds the woman at the door waiting of, which car girl have you been with now? And the guy is telling us, they are thinking, I'm sorry, with all the stress I have been dealing with, the only thing I want is someone to be saying, I was worried about you. Were you okay? Are you fine? And I am being met with, Walked past, goes into the bedroom, picks 2 t-shirts and 2 jeans, walks out, disappears for a week.
Yeah.
I would do the same thing, to be honest with you.
Really?
Look, your wife, I think, and you guys can confirm or deny this, as a man, your biggest fan, your biggest support system, your biggest crutch is always going to be your spouse, your partner. It's the one person who you want to be able to hold you and say, you know what, baby, it's going to be okay. When that person is one saying,
You are lying.
see you, especially when you are not guilty.
Yeah.
Rumanga, you are not guilty.
No, you're not.
Can't you a story?
For me,
When my wife was going through that whole debacle with my third child,
3 to 8 months.
I was spending about 150K per day, just hospital, room, no medication, no what. So the total would come to 250 per day. This is for 4 months.
Wow.
Then I get my job at the radio station. Tuli mu lockdown, I'm broke. Then Sanyo comes and Tase Zembera, Funa Kasente. But the person I replaced had a cult following. Social media, Bavuma. I'm not social media, Bavuma.
I want to boost this.
Remember, you are coming from radio where you are going to hospital where somebody is dying. You understand? The stress I had, I don't know if I was a weak guy, I would have broken down emotionally and even mentally. So one time I go out, the boss, Rajiv, calls and says, hey Salvador, you've gone through a lot, come we have a drink, it's a Friday, I want to spoil you. We are at Bokoto Heights, having a drink, life is good, and then all this, and you are with people who are doing Snap. So, mutakola Snapchat. Nga, during lockdown, there is a friend of mine who stayed in the area. Nga lava Snapchat yani, ya guy. Nga gamba, you are in my neighborhood, and you cannot say hi. Kanzije. atuka today ambuza how are you I'm said I'm fine ngamba now all I needed was somebody to ask me how are you and to tell me it shall be fine. But none of my friends, the ones I was drinking with, noticed. None of my workmates noticed. Nobody in the hospital when my whole family was there, her family was there, but nobody noticed. I was dying deep inside. This girl from nowhere asked me, how are you? I said, I'm cool, I'm drinking. She looks at me and says, Salvador, how are you? The second time she asked the question, I don't know. Obama Zigagava.
You cried.
Bro, I broke down.
You cried in enjoyment.
That's a good
In enjoyment, I just broke down. You know, I was seated there. Tulijikuba. We are there. The prince is there.
Because everyone thinks that this is how you're the entertainer, you're the fun guy.
I just broke down. What's the problem? I was like a child telling a story, but I was not coordinated because I wanted to release so much information. Now what is happening?
Snap.
Somebody is snapping.
Yeah.
They're even outside now. They are talking.
So this one has even prayed for me and Savide, Salah, Ngambi, everything shall be okay. Finally, I'm like, remember, twali tukava, netuingire motoka.
Oh.
Natali kukumbulira.
Step by
so
step.
to spend the motoka, kubudachika. So when I finally come out, I'm a relieved man.
To really show that you're
basically, I am released. Tension. I come back to the party. I'm very full of energy. People are like,
You've been gone for a long time.
I'm like, I feel like a happy man. Message is already
They're ahead of you.
Ziggens ahead of me. So this moment, I go back to the hospital. I am so lively. Life is good. Azala. That they discharge us. We go back home. The boy. Now that is where the P&D comes in. Her stress of the child, the stress of her almost dying, and the stress of me possibly enjoyment when she was sick.
Oh my goodness.
You know, like you're cheating, you think everything is okay, and then they throw a barrage of things that you didn't do. Do you know, there's a point I said I should have actually. I thought about it in a number. Do you know the opportunity I had? It was lockdown. I had the moving sticker. By then, they had gotten for me an apartment because I couldn't go back to Charlie Wajala by then. I had, because Boulevard and Bugolobi Medical Hospital were nearby. The company got for me an apartment. I said I had an apartment. So, the things we go through, especially emotionally, it is very hard for women to comprehend. But the breakdown point once happen, and the man breaks down emotionally to get him back.
What do you think we as men need to be able to communicate? Because that's something that you could have said to your wife, that I'm not fine, by the way.
You know, so
she's sick. She's in the hospital. She's bedridden. You cannot add her. You are stressed.
And that's the thing. So my wife will tell you this. It's only maybe now in 2023 that I've tried to be deliberate about bringing her into some of the stuff that I am dealing with.
For how long?
As a person.
10 years, right? Because the truth of the matter is, and I don't know, you guys can help me understand this, but I think that as a man, there's got to be certain things that you must shield your wife from.
Yeah.
Because if you're stressed, if I'm panicking, if I have court bailiffs, waiting for me outside, and then I'm dealing with this stress, and then I'm bringing her to deal with that stress, at some point, one of us needs to be in a place where you can be able to hold things together. I think the things that men need to be able to do is to say, maybe, pray for me, I'm dealing with some stress at a certain level, blah, 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 blah. And then what I do is look for Brian Mulondo and say, guy, Oliver, Kati, first come, this is the stuff I'm dealing with, so you can just unleash. I honestly believe that while it's important for our spouses to be able to be our full support system and to have an idea of all the things that we're dealing with, I insist that there are things that you must be able to protect them from, because otherwise they don't have the capacity to deal with some of the stuff.
Yeah, and even some of those things, if shared, can be looked at as an element of weakness.
Yes.
To you as a man.
And some of them use it as their weapon against you.
Yes.
When during an argument.
No wonder, remember.
Remember.
In such moments, I think I'll first deal with it. If it is really, really something that could come tumbling, because for me, my wife is my business partner. So there are certain things that concern business, and I know that if anything happened to me, she needs to be in the know, or she'll be taken by surprise. So I'll let her know that this and this is happening, and it's a serious problem. Of course, she'll go into panic mode. Then I'll tell her the good news is I've done this about it. So we can come out of it like this.
Yes.
But if I did at the beginning, she could lose it. And if she loses it and starts panicking for me, I could also lose it. And then, you know, everything goes wrong.
100%.
You know what you men here, I've just thought about it, like all of us here, we are married to very cantankerous women. Like all of us here.
I don't think there are better people they would have gotten for this.
So I think from what you said, I think generally the generation now, we've become friends with our people. We are too friendly that you don't even know when you are crossing the boundary or when you are maintaining. But those demarcations have never changed when it comes to marriage. I might be your friend, but I still require the respect that is given to a husband. This is what I need to do. This is what you need to do. And even if we teeth, the teething stops, and everyone
goes back to their
does what
they are supposed to do.
Does what they are supposed to do. So, but the conversation of cheating will never end.
That one can't.
It can't.
It can't.
But I understand, you know, some of us were married to people who just cheat. Like, yeah, so
I will just tell you sorry.
We would love to this one is from Jenna Bulwa. Jenna Bulwa is asking, what would you do if your 24-year-old daughter got pregnant? Chokash is still at campus. What would you do?
Honestly, for me, we have reached a time whereby you just thank God she reached even 24. You thank God she has gone through her teenage life and she has become an adult. At 24, she's bound to make certain decisions that you can't fight. Whether she's under your roof, whether she's still in school. Once she clocks 18, you expect anything. As a father, the best I can do is to show support. Of course, I'll be disappointed because I have a vision for you. You understand? But not everything will go my way. Especially when you reach that age of consent where not even the law can protect you. Because as a teenager, I have the law on my side. In case anything happens, I can attack the other person because I have the law. Once the law stops protecting me, 18, the girl says she's in love with that boy. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
I recently went through an experience where I had to take someone's daughter back to them because she had gotten pregnant and given birth, and this person was a very religious person. So basically, on Swazi's, right? And I found it it was emotional but also disturbing. And I remember telling this individual, do you realize that in everything that has happened, right, you have a grandchild who you have not celebrated?
Thank you.
Whatever has happened has happened. There is nothing you can do to change it. But guess what? You have a grandchild. This girl could have
can turn out to be
a president or
amazing.
Whatever. The entire world is judging your daughter.
You can't be the one.
Judging.
You are at that point are probably the only thing standing between that poor girl and being suicidal and depressed and all of these things. That level of support as a parent saying, my daughter, chokoze techiriyo, but guess what? We are here for you 100%. Where you pick up the bill, where you do everything for this girl to make sure she understands, no matter what mistakes you make, you are always going to be my child. I grew up in a place where my siblings were a bit of problem, including me, to be honest, if you think about it.
We've been there.
We've been there. Yeah. I think what really shocked me for the longest time was how, no matter what stupidity we engaged in, no matter how bad it was, my dad was one of those really strict, properly arrogant Banyankole men. He will come and probably beat you and abuse you, but he's the one who will bail you out of jail. And eventually you get to the point where you're thinking, you know what? My father loves me.
Let me stop. I'll give you a story of my sister. I think it's easier said than done. We are saying, we have to show support. It's very hard. We are not downplaying parents who cane, who get angry. No, we are not. Because we know how painful it is for you to have a vision for your child. And then they go astray. My big sister, when she finished A-level, she became a rebel in the home. She would do things. My parents were done. Were fed up. Then she even runs away from home. Gets pregnant. And then the man was like, you know what? I'm still in school. The man was in campus. A very young boy struggling. He said, I know we are in school, but I need to make it right. I need to meet your parents. The man was bold. He comes. My dad was in his car shop. My dad was in his car shop. They are sitting. Guy sees my sister with the stomach that side with a cowboy. Comes and says, sir, my name is Robert. I'm then responsible for your daughter's pregnancy. My father lost it. He cannot do anything by himself. He calls me from home, and my mother used to work in Bogolobi Market. Go and call your mother. We have a situation. Here I come, I see my sister pregnant. I'm like, hey, you are finished. I ran. Called my mother, and I told my mother, I just come. What you are going to see there is going to show. When my mother came and saw my sister pregnant, she went down on her knees and said, Mo, come away, Vale.
Are you serious?
My dad was confused. He was like, I brought this one so that you can punish this boy, and she's thanking God. My mom came, hugged my sister, gave her a drink, and took her home.
Oh, wow.
Came back, greeted the man, knelt for. This boy was confused. He was like, no, what is happening?
I think they are
my dad, they gave him juice. The guy refused to drink. Then later, my dad asked my mom. She said, no, she's finally going to realize the pain I went through as a mother when she was doing all those things. That thing hit me hard. I was very young. But till today, and my sister turned out to be, she's now living in Canada with all her children. She turned out to be one of the best daughters that her parents have ever had.
Oh, wow.
All because of life lessons. That thing made me realize, as a parent, the support you show is going to change some. Because at that time, when you get pregnant back in the day, that is it. You're a housewife back with that day. She became a housewife. They enrolled her back in school. She got her degree. She got her master's. She's now in Canada with her children having a high-profile government job in Canada. All because of the love.
Because her mother hugged her.
My mother just went on and said, thank you, Lord, and hugged her. That just paved the way.
And I think for me, even the win is where, like, she's been away. Yes, she's gotten pregnant, but she's come back.
She has come back.
Like,
at the end of the day, home is
of course, this thing, of course, you don't know how to handle it until it happens.
It happens to you.
It doesn't yet happen to any of us here, unless you have 24-year-olds we don't know about.
But also, think about this. Mathew, imagine, and the question was, what do you do if your 24-year-old daughter comes back and says that she's pregnant? Can we be cognizant of the fact that we're living in a world now, if your daughter gets pregnant, you thank God that she was having sex with a man.
With a man. That was where, I didn't see it coming. Hey,
She might come home and say, Salvador, so daddy,
Meet my wife.
Ayabas.
I had not thought about that.
We are in this thing together.
At least she's pregnant.
Actually, 24 years old is really okay.
Yeah.
This can actually happen at a younger age.
Right.
So, just like Ben said, I think I would be more grateful than judging.
And judging.
Yes.
Okay, so if you are a father or a mother who has gone through this, please share your experience with us and educate us because we might be here just jazzing.
Yeah.
And you are like, look at these children. You don't know. Then I take the man to prison and then the daughter.
And how does that help?
Oh, why?
What does that help?
Nothing.
So share.
The child is fatherless. The woman is husbandless.
And this is your grandchild.
And this is your grandchild. So,
If you're just joining us, we are handling your questions. Bump Love asked you to share your questions with the men, and today on the show I have Mathew Nabwiso, renowned producer, actor, and owner of
filmmaker.
Nabwiso Films is here today with us. Please watch Sanyu. It airs on Power Magic Prime. Salvador, Africa's biggest comedian.
you are not lying.
Africa's biggest comedian, but he also has the Salvador show that airs on Pearl Magic. So please watch it. A new season is coming on the 16th of April. Watch out for that on Pearl Magic Prime.
How do you know this? You need to first put your context of how you know this.
How do I know?
Yeah.
I am their boss. Yeah, I have the privilege of heading local content at MultiChoice. So these gentlemen are very good. So please watch those shows. They are really incredible. And if you're out there, you're suffering with your talent, please come and let people help you. Because I'm also with the general manager of production at Next Media, Ben Mwine. All of you people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Production,
Very good, very good. Very good. So,
they are single, they have been suffering.
Baby, look at them. if your image turns out black and white, you are finished.
That's why I was asking for lighting. It's all right.
It's all right. Okay, so we have a question from Charlotte Kobusinje, and she says, men, why do you put us on pressure to snap back after giving birth? For you, you are not snapping back. For you, why? That's a loaded question.
No, I mean, this one I can take. Brian knows. I believe that one of the important things for any person, and we were talking about this before we started shooting, that your health is very important. We all know Professor Mondo Kagonyera.
Yeah.
He's 80-something now. I meet him jogging in Tinder almost on a daily basis.
Right, yeah.
And that doesn't happen by accident. I believe that you have to be deliberate about your health. I believe that letting yourself go, this is my personal opinion, not the opinion of Bambla.
You as a... You've always been...
I will do everything it takes to make sure that when I go to pee, I can see what's happening.
You can see the source.
Because it all comes down to discipline. J-Lo is how old?
50.
Have you seen how that woman looks?
Yeah.
50, yeah.
And the point is this, that no matter how many children you've had, no matter what has happened, you have the ability to put yourself in a place where you can look after your body. It is good for you. It is for health. It is good. I remember when Adele started going through that process. Now, hers came from a place where she was being trod a little bit and almost being bullied. But then I think at some point, even her, she realized, you know what? I don't like what I see in the mirror, and I can do something about it. You look at her before and after, and I'm thinking, okay, fine, she has money, she has trainers, and blah, 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 blah. But any individual has the ability to be able to say, you know what? I am going to cut maybe 5-6 kilos in the next 1 year. I'll give you a perfect example. We all know Peter Igaga.
Yeah.
Peter at some point had eaten 100 and something kilos or something along those lines. And he woke up one day and realized, you know what, I don't feel good. I'm going to do something about it. You see him now, and that guy has, I think, the body of a 20-something-year-old.
Doesn't he even sometimes walk to work?
Not sometimes, most of the time he's walking to work. And so the point is this. The reason that we will try and come after our wives to try and get back into shape as quickly as possible, and we will support them to do that, is because whether you like it or not, allowing you to let yourself go because this is who you have become and it's okay, is a lie on our part.
You are not. You are not.
We are not being honest. We are not being honest. If I'm looking at you and saying, you know what, you can be who you want, it's okay, I'm lying to you.
Hey.
I should be able to tell you, you know what, let's go, let's start jogging together. Let's start jogging together.
But also, especially if the people, for example, in the case of...
Also, it's a double-edged sword.
If she tells you self-love, you guys, oh my God.
It's a double-edged sword because it has also to come from the person.
I agree.
Unfortunately, there are some people who will take that kind of suggestion or advice as insult.
Yeah.
Oh, kati ndi munene sigo yanteka mu kifo kino. I used to have a small cylinder. Kati kuzalide katotani sokunda babubi. It has to come from personal love, self-love, and you have to ask yourself, is this the kind of person I want to be?
Yeah.
Because every time I try to bring up the subject, I'm attacking you.
Yeah.
For the sake of peace, which any man will choose over anything.
Yeah.
And let it go.
Yeah. And love you the way you
love you the way you are.
Yeah.
Protect you the way you are. And you move
Jangalanga
on.
way.
Jangalanga way. You move on. A man will be proud of his woman, however big
Yes.
he is, because he has chosen peace. He's not happy with what he has, but he has chosen peace over anything, over people's opinion, over your own routine. He has chosen peace. Kubanga, every time I bring it up, there is a problem in the family.
Problem.
So together,
Yeah.
it's a double-edged sword at the
Right.
same time.
Right.
So it's not that we were putting you on pressure. It is a personal decision.
I agree.
This year I told myself, I am going to lose about 25 kilograms. I've started that's a lot of because I'm 100 and something. So it is quite good for me. And my process started. And then here you are, also our work also interferes with our plans. Because you get a role, the role I've gotten needs me to be in a certain size. So you are like, what do I choose? Do I cut for a man? It is about
Kankole se.
I will always
Tujagatawo.
which together.
I think for me, the reason
It's
I
a very
always
painful
give,
thing.
The reason I always give my wife, the day you got spare motors and pay for that ML with a 6-pack is the day I'll get them. Until the day. You go to the supermarket and the quality says, how many 6-packs do you have? Is the day that currency starts. So maybe that's the excuse I always give her. Yeah.
But it's not like we put them on pressure.
Yeah.
It's actually supposed, like that communication which Mathew was talking about. It is very, very important. If you get it right.
Yes.
If you get it right, because it is the one that makes you choose life decisions.
Yeah.
Do I choose peace?
Yeah.
Do I choose her to let herself become like a jerry can? Do I choose? Once the communication is wrong, you are going to make those decisions. But if you sit down with the woman, now that you've given birth, you need to get back in shape. She says, in fact, what do you suggest? There is this tea that I'm supposed to be taking, and then I'll hit the gym. If that communication is happening, Kati.
You are fat.
It's okay. So that communication is very important, by the way.
Mathew Nabwiso. Mathew is almost 6-pack.
Not almost, I think.
Mathew, you have?
Yeah.
How many packs do you have?
It went.
But you are
Almost.
what did you do? Because I know, yes, the women have asked us this question, but There are also women who are complaining like Banangi. My wife. Me, I feel like this question was sent by Manuela. Just in the it was supposed to be why. So what do you do to the two of you?
I think one, personally, I had to find out the things that actually make me put on weight, especially the mid-cycle. Yes. I realized that when I eat a lot of food, most cases it will be carbohydrates, if it's a lot, I get sleepy. And if I nap after eating, boom. Standard, whether breakfast, whether lunch or late dinner, it will happen. So, and I always have those moments where every time after eating, I feel sleepy. Yeah. So if, say, I'm not at work and I know that it's going to happen, I actually take a nap before lunch so that when I eat lunch, I'm not sleepy. And when I do that, my time is in check. Interesting. Yeah, when I do that, then also there are also certain foods like, I've always told him I've been staying away from beer for as long as I can, because for me, beer, if I just took 2 bottles today, 2 bottles tomorrow, and maybe 1 bottle day 3, boom. So I stay away from beer. So I stay away. So I just know where my weakness is, and I avoid it.
So my thing is that I think that it's important to be in shape. It's for your own good. 3 things that I do. 1, bowel movement. Critical. Lots of water in the morning to make sure that you cleanse out everything in the system. Number 2 is I now limit all of my portions. If I go to eat, when I'm going to serve lunch, whatever you're giving me, I tell the person, half. No matter what, whether it's big or small, whatever you're giving me, I usually say half. Because I realize that by doing that, it's a discipline, Salvador. Whatever you're giving me, I'm like,
I am not disciplined.
Like whatever you do, give me half. And here's why.
Even because when you're paid.
So even when I paid. Until here at Golden Tulip, we'll go to the buffet. I will make sure my plate is full of the veggies, blah, 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 blah. Because my weakness is that I take sugar, I like bread, I like milk. And I eat bread and the milk at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. every night.
Anytime.
Every night. You ask my wife, she will tell you. If there is no tea in the evening, there's a problem. So because I know that, I try and make sure that from the early part of the day, I have kept my space. Because this thing of diet, I have a problem with it because I think that it makes you miserable.
Yes.
If you can't enjoy your life, like what's the point of living long if you can't do the things that make you want to live long?
Yes.
I will eat my meat. I like chapati. I eat my chapati. But what I do is I know if I've eaten 3 chapatis, yesterday and today, I'll be like, next 2 days, tomorrow I'm not doing lunch. I'm going to eat. So
basically, the formula is discipline.
It's just discipline.
It's not the combination of a keto. Keto diet. By the way, I've seen most people who do keto. They are not happy.
You can't be happy.
Even in when even they have lost that weight, you expect somebody to be glowing, to be shining and happy, but they are not.
You look miserable.
Yeah,
I
don't know.
Keto diet, I lost.
But you were not happy. You
Okay.
were not.
Moderation, just do moderation.
Yeah,
Eat
it's
what you
discipline.
want,
Jogging. For me, jogging, exercise. Actually, if I did jogging, say 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers twice a week,
That's it.
you'll think I fell sick.
Yeah.
So actually what I've done is at home I've put a basketball hoop.
Yeah.
So I just play with my kids every time I feel like I'm getting heavy.
Yeah.
Even if I play twice a week.
That's enough.
Yeah. After 2 weeks, I'm
If you
sorted,
have access to a swimming pool, there is nothing better than swimming, because what swimming does is that it's not only therapeutic,
All the muscles in your body.
but also it works all the
mental,
muscles.
yeah.
So if you can do swimming twice a week, I try and do swimming at least twice a week. You literally don't have, again, like Mathew is saying, you know that I have earned my chapati for the next 3 days.
Yes.
Interesting. Well, we shall come. We have time. Life is good.
In a basketball court, my compound cannot allow.
And there's more space for a pool.
Life goals.
Life goals. We shall reach there. But I hope this helps you. At the end of the day, your health is your wealth.
Yeah.
So invest. It has nothing to do with your partner. It has everything to do with your yourself, right? So yes, man, losing weight is a struggle. I think
should lead you to lose weight.
Yeah. If you also watch a previous episode of Bump Love, one of the things they talked about to normalize is for us to stop using self-love as an excuse of us losing our way. Yeah, so there's so much research. People are doing so many things. Akina juicing, kasenene is killing us on a pork. So there are so many things, and different body types have different.
But we shall not say.
Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Last question, gentlemen.
Yes.
How do you deal with low finances in a marriage, especially where the woman has to pick up the slack? This is very important.
Yeah.
It kind of feeds into what we started with.
Yes.
Women are now being are also breadwinners. Women are earning more because we also love our wives more. We support them to even pursue more than us. Yeah. So how do you navigate that?
I think first of all, I think it has to come to the way you get an understanding from the word go, what you've agreed to get into. Is it one-sided, or are you in this together forever? Yeah, because if you both believe you are in it for the long haul, then you've got to make decisions that benefit the both of you and your children. So I think personally with my wife, because actually I think I was sharing this sometime, is before I actually made the decision to marry my wife, there are certain areas that I really, really had to look at.
Yeah.
And I think there were three most important areas in terms of character.
Yeah.
Because when you marry out of
Feelings.
and you forget character, I think you're going to knock. So to me, it was really about character. One of the areas was anger. How does she react in the event that she's angry? Is she the kind that is going to break things all over the plate? Can I handle that?
80-inch.
Yeah, so that is one of the areas I had to check and see how she actually manages anger. The other area was attitude towards work. Does she like to work, or she's there, sit back and you provide? Because yes, if I'm going to work, I'm going to do my role as a man and work, but what if I'm incapacitated for any reason?
Will you step up?
Will you be able to?
Okay.
So it was important for me to know her attitude towards work and of which she loves to work. So the other area was how does she react in the areas of finances in the event I have no money. So when we were dating, there times she would say, hey, it's a Friday, let's go out. I'm like, hi, I'm so broke, I can't handle. What? No, come on, I have money, let's go. So I realized that actually, so if I'm broke, she can actually chip in.
Right.
So those are one of the three things among the men that made me think I am making a right decision. So when we got into this, I would share with her my dream, my vision. I'm like, I want us to do A, B, C, D. Of course, time came, yes, I know you're providing, but I also need to make my own money. I had to make avenues to make sure she starts earning her own money. And we've gotten to a point where actually we have our money, I have my money, she has her money. Of course, our money and my money but when I am stuck, she has no problem getting her money to bail us out. Awesome. Either bail me out or bail the company out, or say the kids have a birthday and I'm like, I have no money. She's like, I'll pay.
Yeah.
So I think because
it's a loan, eh?
No, actually, when it comes to birthday to children, it's never a loan. When it's the children, it's never a loan. When it's the company, it's a loan. Yeah. When it is me, it's a loan.
It's a loan?
Yeah. But if it's children, she pitches in. So now that also takes away a lot of weight and a lot of stress, because there are those moments when I have no money and probably even the company is doing badly, but I know that my wife won't let us drown because she has it.
That's awesome.
So I think because we believe that we are walking this journey together, so she has no difficulties chipping in.
Yeah.
And that gives me a lot of peace of mind, a lot of comfort to know that whatever it is, last resort, my wife will bail us out.
Things have obviously changed.
Yeah.
Right now, even men expect women to chip in. Right? Like if you have a great job, why aren't you chip? Why is the pressure on me? But there are also men who say, no,
I think
I got you.
I'm a man.
yeah, you let me take care of
handle
it.
this.
You know what? I think it honestly comes down to, like Mathew was saying, your terms of engagement at the beginning of your relationship, what your friendship is like as a couple. I happen to, I think, be very well placed to answer this question. Brian knows a bit about my circumstance, because by the time we got married, I was already so heavily in debt that we literally had to depend on my wife's very small salary from NTV to sustain us. Up to this day where any money I make at the moment is still going to trying to do debt management services, and so essentially you're basically in a place where I'm saying, Hati, I need like 30K for fuel, of where you do say,
As you say, for me, as
and I think that one of the biggest blessings that has happened for us is being in that place where your finances are so low to the point where you're literally naked before each other and have to sort of now sit down and discuss and say, okay, now this is 100K.
how do we go through that month?
How do we manage the next 2 weeks on this 120K, right? So you're thinking, okay, tweet out, okay, fine, okay. And that has helped us honestly become a lot more intimate with my wife, brought us a lot closer together. And when I become the lead in Matthew's next project and make $1 million, at least we will have no problems with dealing with those small issues of that would have been indicated for already. But I think for especially for women, I think they need to understand that having money doesn't give you power over your man. My wife my wife does a lot of voiceovers. So she'll come back and say, I've got this much money, blah, 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 and she'll hand it over.
And you plan.
Even when she's looking for money to do her hair or do blah, 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 she's given me that power and responsibility over her life, and I can't tell you how much pressure that brings. For someone to be able to trust you that much because they're trusting with their life. It's not little pressure. It's not little pressure. And I think we need to understand that being able to give the man that responsibility, that even if you're making more money than him, you're giving him that power to say, you know what, you're the guy who can make this decision. I don't respect you any less because I'm making more money than you. We've had some conversations with some couples where a woman has told the man that, what did you bring to this? What did you,
to the relationship.
Because I'm earning more than you, and she's saying, so now you are as a man, what are you bringing to the table? I am making more than you, you're supposed to be the provider, what are you bringing? And I'll never forget that particular incident because I was thinking, madam, what you have just done is basically push this man into the arms of the first woman that he comes across. And he will go and find another woman unapologetically because you have taken everything that makes him a man. And just pulled it out of his intestines like that.
And no amount of
it doesn't matter what you do. You have done damage.
When it comes to finances and relationships, I'm still learning. Because I believe everybody has their own formula. We started out by her trying to look for a job, and it was even costing me more money. it was costing me more money until I found out that it actually makes more sense for us to work together. Because sometimes she would not understand how I would do my stuff. I would go, I come back, and I would leave my receipts, bank statements, anywhere in the house. And she would fall on a statement, it has $5,000, and she said,
Nasty.
said. Tamanyi nguzoba kataka somewhere oba nina amabanja against us. Yeah, azirabye.
Yes.
And then
It's
she
on
would,
their account.
the entitlement. Oh, you don't give me money. Other people are being given money. So that thing was confusing me until I brought her in.
Yeah.
So now we work together.
Yeah.
She has seen the struggles
Yeah.
of how she negotiates for about $5,000 and we end up with 200. Yeah? And she's the one who does the mathematics and says this one is going here, this one is going. Anyway, we shall see. But me trying to explain to her that breakdown was a problem.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes, we are not yet there. Totally, because she's still entitled. When we make some money,
She has earned it, Salvador, let's be honest. She has
which is very true.
Yeah, she has-
but there has to be discipline. Just because you ate beans because you were broke doesn't mean you should eat meat when you have money. We can still eat beans because it's healthy. It is healthy. But because you've gotten money, you want chicken, when you are broke, that's when you go for greens, you go for beans.
Yeah.
The consistency has to be there, with or without the money.
Yeah.
We have to have a plan. Not that, oh, chino chikuteyo, kole chino. We are still making mistakes. But the good thing, we are making the mistakes together. The time we will learn from these mistakes, I am sure it's going to be effortless. And I don't think it will be long, because now I am seeing how much passion she has for the things even that don't bring money to the company. She's planning ahead, and the plans involve us, the children, and not just her. So I think it's a learning curve. We shall get there. Everybody has their formula, financially.
But do you see the key thing that I'm seeing from all four of us is that we've been deliberate about making sure that our women are involved in everything,
Our
money,
finances.
money.
That is a very important.
Very
Let me
great.
give you a story. This woman, they were living together. The man was the breadwinner. So, guy loses his job, but he starts to hustle. But as a man, starts to hustle. Nga omukazi aja namugamba rent, batuli bubi. The man goes, hustles, looks for rent, brings, pays the woman. To the extent that there's a point the woman became too much. The man said, I need time. What? We need time apart. He goes somewhere, and then later, he finds out the house they were staying in was for the woman. But
She was the landlord.
She was the landlord. Hey. But the man was the one paying fees, buying food in the house, paying rent.
This sounds like an episode of something that Mathew would be directing.
I'm telling you, that thing perplexed me. The man was heartbroken.
How do you recover from? How do you
He was
recover from that?
heartbroken.
How do you recover from that?
Like, you're not bringing, like, you tell me.
Probably the landlord was even increasing rent.
Increase.
Effective.
Oh, you don't get that. If by the finances can break up a relationship badly. I'm sorry to use that example. You've seen on TV those guys fighting for property.
Yeah.
A prominent guy fighting for property with the wife, involving the children, involving the media, involving the public. All your hard work just goes
Down.
Even a boda guy is talking about you. Man, because of finances, you didn't talk in the beginning, you didn't agree on certain things.
So let's get very candid about issues of money. Obviously, they tell us two things that destroy the marriage: finances and sex. On another day, we'll also ask women, why do we put you on our documents as next of kin, but for you don't put us?
You put your sibling.
Over to Chi. We will need women here to answer that question. Talk to us at BampLoveUG. Those are our handles, and use the hashtag mothering isn't suffering, and we shall definitely get your comments. You can also go directly to each of these men's handles on IG and Twitter and ask your questions. We cannot answer everything, but I hope we've answered a couple of questions. We shall return with the men on another edition of Bump Love. And of course, any Friday night is awesome, especially where there's Kamane. Enjoyments at the Golden Tulip. There's a band, there's great cocktails, of course, and great people. And come and network. Expand your network as a couple, expand your network as an individual. all at the Golden Tulip. Until next time, with love from Bantla.